What's up, guys? So today I'm checking out a new knife I bought to EDC, and it's not on the table yet, but let's just take a look at some of my previous EDCs. These are my three top knives. This is the Wii Flipper. This thing is awesome. This is actually a great deal. It's got a titanium pocket clip, titanium backspacer, D2 blade with this cool black finish with carbon fiber handles. There's a lot that went into this knife, and it's around $119, so really you can't beat it for the price. All of the pivots and everything are titanium, and it flips amazing. It's on ball bearings, and it's just a serious flipper. So this is one I carry, but look at how long this knife is, guys. This knife is huge. It's 3.5 inch, or it might be 3.75 inch blade. The handle, I mean, look at it in my hand. It's a big boy. So that's one of my common EDCs. The other one is the Benchmade Griptilian. Now this isn't a huge knife, but it is pretty bulky compared to a lot of other knives, and it's pretty light though because the handles are just all G2 and the spacers are pretty thin. But this is a great knife. This is probably my favorite EDC because of the ability to flip it open. I love this blade steel. It's so easy to hone on things like my strap. So I really don't sharpen this ever. I just run it across the strap a couple times and it stays sharp. And this thing has taken a serious beating and is held up so well. And I really love the axis lock. It's my favorite locking mechanism on a knife by far. So then we also have the Zero Tolerance 0566. And I love this knife too, but this thing is heavy as hell. So I think this is almost 6 ounces. So it probably weighs about 2 ounces heavier than the Benchmade and an ounce heavier than this, while this thing is just, look at how big it is compared to this other one. It's way bigger, and it's still heavier than that one. And of course that's because it's got the stainless steel scale on the back and these huge stainless steel liner on this side. But this is an overbuilt knife. If I was going somewhere where I needed to pry open a door or do something crazy, this would be the knife I bring. This thing is seriously overbuilt and awesome. So let's get all those out of the way and check out what I've actually got. So I thought I was going to go a different route this time, and I picked up a tiny little knife that is super thin and super light. So this is the Benchmade Bugout. This is the Ranger Green edition, and it's got a 3.24 inch blade. It's CPM S30V, which is awesome. None of these knives that I had on the table before have an S30V blade, except for this one. This one's LMAX, which is kind of a higher end blade steel, but I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a little bit too hard for my liking because it doesn't really work well with things like the strop that I was talking about. But this knife is awesome. So I'll show you guys a size comparison to a Benchmade Griptilian. It's not much smaller, so in terms of blade length, it's just a tiny bit shorter, but something that stands out is the thickness of the handle. So if we look, this thing is way thinner and way lighter. So this knife only weighs 1.85 ounces, which is super light. So the way they got that done is actually there are no stainless steel liners inside the handles. So the stainless steel liner that goes from the blade down only comes to about right here, and then the rest is just this plastic. So I'm not a huge fan of that in terms of integrity for the knife. So this thing isn't going to be a serious beater, but it's also a really nice EDC if you're just cutting things like rope or opening envelopes or just everyday stuff. It's going to kill it. This blade is so sharp. Let me get a piece of paper. When I first took this out, I almost cut myself because of how sharp it was. I mean, this thing is laser sharp out of the box, and that's what I would expect from Benchmade. Every Benchmade knife I've ever had has been just immaculate out of the box. And let's show you guys the blade centering. So it's not 100% centered. It's just ever so slightly to the right, but it looks good enough to me, and I'm amazed at how well they were to get this centered without having stainless steel liners go all the way down. So the deep carry pocket clip on this is awesome. This thing disappears in your pocket, and you almost don't even know it's there, which is really awesome. I'll show you guys a picture of what it looks like in someone's pocket, and I really like the carry of this. It's tip up. I think everyone should carry tip up. Tip down is not a way that I like to carry any of my knives. But it happens. Some people like to carry that way. I don't know why, but they just do. So the thing I do like about this knife is all of these screws are T5. They're not proprietary. That's one thing I hate about this knife. It's got all these proprietary star screws that are so easy to strip. So I don't even try to take apart this knife anymore. I just clean it without taking it apart, which is sometimes kind of difficult. But I like being able to take these apart, especially with the axis lock. I like to clean it out and make sure that it's running smoothly and oil it up. This knife is super smooth. So this knife is sitting on bronze washers, which honestly I prefer than bearings because there's no upkeep to them. All you have to do is take them out and clean them off a little bit, and I probably do that once a year on my grip, which is super nice. The finish on this is actually really nice. Everything looks perfect. I do like the jimping and stuff on the back here. It's really subtle, but it's pretty good if you push your finger into that. And it feels good in the hand. Overall, it does not feel as good in the hand as the grip. I love the grip tilling because it is so wide sometimes and it feels really good in your hand. So if I'm going camping or anything like that, I'll probably bring my grip and then one of my SE fixed blades rather than this. But for EDC, this thing is awesome because of how small it is and how thin it is. And it's a great blade steel, so you don't have to worry about it getting sharp too quick. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this knife, guys. If you enjoyed, please be sure to give the video a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace.